jigsers though. The mirrors fold like all the way forward and make it pretty easy to go in and out of spaces, because that's the widest thing on the bike is the mirrors, so they fold. I'll show you guys. They fold all the way forward, which is nice. So when I park it behind my car, I can fold them all the way forward, saves a lot of room. And they fold back too, they just don't go as far back, so they hit the fairing right there. So, but yeah, what I want to talk to you about today is I'm obviously keeping the bike now, and what made me think of doing this video is that I went to go see how much, I was just curious. I didn't really know. I knew that bikes dropped in value because they're not worth that much in the first place, but I really didn't know exactly how much they dropped in value, especially because you figure when you trade something in, the dealership, they've got to make money on it too, so they always give you, a lower amount than what the bike's worth, because they have to turn around and sell it and make margin on it as well, because they have to make money because they're a business. So I was really interested to see, how much they would give me for my bike, because I was thinking about maybe getting like a dirt bike and building a supermoto, because I really like supermoto bikes. I think they're really cool. So you can go on-road, off-road, and I've always wanted to get back into a dirt bike. I miss having one. They're so much fun to ride around. So I thought a supermoto would be a good mix of the two. And I watch a lot of Motonosity's channel, and freaking, I love that dude's supermoto bike. That thing is bad. I ride that all the time. But so that's what I thought about doing. And so I was like, well, maybe we'll see what the dealership out here, well, there's two of them that I went to. I went to both of them, and one didn't even want to give me a price because they're like, we won't even sell it because sport bikes just aren't that popular over here. I don't know why people don't ride that much here, by the way. The weather, I mean, it's November, it's almost Thanksgiving. It'll be Thanksgiving this Thursday, and you can still ride. It's freaking, it's like 60 degrees out. It's a little cloudy, but it's 60 degrees out. It's a freaking beautiful day for a ride. The only thing that sucks out here is when it gets windy. That's when it's kind of cold, but it's mid-November, and you can still ride your motorcycle in a hoodie and be absolutely fine. So I don't know why people don't ride more Harleys and those types of motorcycles, cruisers. No one really likes import bikes out here, your Japanese motorcycles. So I get why they didn't want to look at it, because they're, they know that they won't sell it. They'll just sit on it. But I went to another dealership, and they had a price, and so they gave me a price of $6,000. So I bought this bike 2016, so they gave me a really good deal on it. If you guys remember, I traded in the Harley, that whole fiasco, but they gave me a really good deal on it because it was a 2016, and they needed to get it off the floor because they had all the 17 models coming in. This was the last 2016 they had, and these MSRP on these is $11,700, I believe, to be exact. Brand new, 0 miles, first owner, under 10 grand, because they're trying to move it because the 17 miles were coming in. This was the last 2016 they had. So I got a really good deal on this. And for them to give me $6,000, and this thing's only got 2,200 miles, 29 miles on it, okay? This thing is brand new. It's like, I don't know, maybe 8 months, I bought it maybe 8 months ago at the dealership, whatever it is, I don't know the exact date, but this thing is brand new. I mean, I've never dropped it, I've never scratched it, it's up to date on its maintenance. I mean, it needs an oil change here really soon. Actually, I'm gonna do it this week, but it went back at 600 miles, got its checkup, everything looked good, they retorqued everything, they changed all the fluids out. Absolutely nothing wrong with this bike. It's mint condition. It's perfect. And they just have to look at it as, are they going to be able to resell it? He even said, he's like, I don't even know if we would do the deal, but if we did, I'd only be able to give you $6,000, and even then we'd probably sit on it for a year. They had a brand new Yamaha R1 from 2015 that he just sold over the summer. That's 2 years old. It took him 2 years to sell a brand new Yamaha R1. Now, that person, just like me, probably got a hell of a deal. So, my thing is do not buy a brand new bike, a brand new like year model. Like, I would not go in and buy a 2017 motorcycle. I would wait a year or even two, because some dealerships will have them because they just don't sell them. I think they overproduce these motorcycles, and you can get a really good deal on them because, you know, once the dealership sits on them for more than 6 to 8 months, they're going to start losing money on those. So they've got to get rid of them because, you know, based on their contracts and those types of things, they've got to bring the new models in. And so that is the best way to go. I really got a good deal on this, and I'm gonna keep it forever now. I'm gonna pay it off here soon, actually, and I'm just gonna keep this bike forever. I'm gonna start modding it, and then when I'm ready for 1,000, I'm just gonna keep this bike as, you know, like kind of like a daily, almost like a daily driver type deal, because 1,000 is like, I mean, that's something you want to go mess around with on the weekends or maybe take to the track. But this thing is really good to ride around daily, and I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start riding it a lot more now that my freaking Grom was stolen, and that thing's gonna set me back a little bit. That's a whole nother fiasco now with the insurance, but I'll explain that later once it all gets completed. But anyways, now that the Grom's gone, as long as the weather's good, I'm really gonna start riding this thing every day. So I'm gonna head over to the gym right now, but I just want to talk to you guys about why you should just buy a used bike.
Alright guys, sorry about that. My audio cut out. I think my mic is going out. I haven't motovlogged in a while, so either the mic wasn't plugged in all the way, or maybe the little connection got dirty or something, so sorry about that. I gotta fix the mic. But anyways, like I did, you could buy a 2016, you know, a year later, so I bought mine in 2017, and you can save a lot of money because they're trying to get rid of those older bikes to make room for the newer bikes that they have coming in from the manufacturers. So they've really got to move those in order to make room on their floor and to free up money to get the new bikes. So they're always trying to push those models. So what I was saying is that it's really good to look for a dealership that has some older model units that are brand new, because then you're still getting a brand new bike, but you're getting it at a lower price than you would if you bought it brand new presently. So like if I go in and buy 2017, instead of paying, you know, I'd paid $11,700, I go in and I bought a 2016 and I got it for under 10 grand. You know, I saved myself about 2 grand off the list price, and it's still a brand new bike, 0 miles. I'm the first owner. So I think that's, you know, your best option right there. Now, if you really want to save some cash, you could buy a used bike, because sport bikes and, you know, I haven't looked into Harleys as much, but sport bikes, really, they just don't hold their value at all. Get a nice used sport bike for around 4 to 5 grand with low miles and, you know, in really good condition, and it'll last you a long time. You just got to be, you know, mindful when you're looking at the bike. So if you don't know too much about motorcycles, I'd recommend either taking the motorcycle to a mechanic or bringing a mechanic along with you, or if you have a friend that knows a lot, have them come with you. You know, use your common sense, make sure everything's intact, all the maintenance has been done. So that's the only part that's kind of a gamble, is you're not knowing how the bike was taken care of. But there are signs, and when you ride it, you'll know if everything's been done properly, if the bike's been taken care of, you know, has it been dropped, is it scratched, you know, how do the sprockets look, how does the chain look. You know, you can even open up the oil fill plug, smell the oil, look how dark it is, you know, does it look like it's been recently changed, does it smell burnt, things like that. And then obviously when you run the bike, you'll be able to tell if it's taken care of. Now, it's still a gamble, you know, something may pop up that you don't see when you bought the bike, but that's just kind of the gamble you take with buying used bikes. But if you're cautious, mindful, and you do your due diligence, you can get a really good deal on a sports bike. I mean, I've seen them here. I saw a guy selling a 2012 Gixxer 600 with really low miles. I want to say it was like 4,000 or 5,000 miles, which is really, you know, really good miles. And he only wanted like $4,000 for it, and it sat on Craigslist for months and months. And it's crazy. You know, we're in a small city where no one really buys them and no one really sells them. So a good thing to do would be to look in your nearest small city that's closest to you, or if you're in a small city, look on your local Craigslist or the Facebook Marketplace, and you could find a really good deal on a sports bike. Because it's just pointless to go buy a brand new one when you're going to lose a lot of money on it, because a lot of people, they ride a 600 for a while, or a 250 or a 300 or whatever it is, and then they grow out of it, or they don't want to actually ride motorcycles anymore, so they're losing, $3,000-$4,000 off the cost just because they splurged for a new one. Now, I went for a new one because I had traded my Harley and all that stuff. I had to go through that. And I was trying to get rid of the Harley, and shout out to Faye Myers for really taking care of me on that. But like I said, you can really get a used bike in good condition for really inexpensive, and that's the way to go, I think, especially if it's your first bike. Now, if it's your second or third bike and you want to start with a brand new one, you want to be the first owner, definitely go splurge for that new bike. Just know that if you want to resell it or if you want to trade it in later, you're going to lose a lot of money on that bike. So when I go looking for my next bike, I'm definitely going to look for something used. The first thing I'll do is I'll go try and find a dealership that has like a 2016 or 2017 when I look in 2018 for 1000cc. Try and go that way so I can still get a brand new bike, but I'm not going to pay that, MSRP, that high price tag that they're trying to get you for. And then if that doesn't work out, then I'm going to go to the market, look for one that has like 2,000 or 3,000 miles, that's been maintained, never dropped. Everything runs good on it. Someone just bought it and they didn't like it, or they bought it and they just don't want to ride anymore. They bought it, maybe it's too much of a bike for them, whatever the case may be. But that's the route I'm going to go. So I urge you guys to look at used bikes, or look for dealerships that have ones that are older models, but still brand new, and you're going to save yourself a ton of money. So make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. Comment down below what your thoughts are on it. I think the same thing kind of goes along with cars, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one.